In this video, I'm going to go through generating an office bill. This will be a quick overview, and then for each page, I'll go into more detail in other videos. So as you can see, the spirit of this is that for each issue that the patient wants you to address, there's brief, moderate, and thorough levels of how much time and effort it took you to do that. They're organized by body parts, and basically you get the visual representation on the left so you can find it faster. Other color coding here is that green is a symptom, yellow is infection, and purple is a diagnosis. If you can't find what you want quickly, there's a search function. So we'll say search thyroid, and then you see the options that come up, and then you can go back to the full list if you need to. There's an extra time bar also, and I'll explain more about that in this video, and also the one getting into the details of extra time. So let's say a patient comes in and the first concern they have is chest pain, and it's new symptom you haven't talked about before, so you do a good history, and then you order tests, you don't order tests, you send them to the ER. Whatever your judgment of the next step is doesn't affect really how you're paid. And then they also say they've been constipated for a while, and you talk about that maybe not quite as long. And then let's say they say they've had chronic AFib, it's been in great control, so nothing you have to do with that very much. But then as you put your hand on the door, they say, oh, and by the way, my back's been killing me. So what do you do now? Basically, you groan, right? Because your waiting room's backing up and you're going, all right, I'm not going to get paid for this under the current rules. So under Sentara, you can go, okay, tell me about your back. And you can do a good, thorough job with this because you'll actually get paid to do it. So let's say you thoroughly assess their back pain. But on top of that, the patient just had all kinds of questions. They expected to get an MRI. They've heard of this treatment and that treatment and stem cells and whatever. And so you spend a lot longer than a typical visit for the back pain. And so that's what this extra time code is for. And again, I'll go into more details on another video, but let's say you spent 10 more minutes than you normally would for something like this. And that's how you document that. In the next page, this top section is a new concept, and these are called information management fees. So basically what I'm doing is paying you in advance, or the patients are paying you in advance collectively for the time and effort it takes to get the results back of the lab and x-rays you ordered, and then do what you got to do with them. So let's say you ordered 3 common bundles, right? So like a CBC, UA, and a thyroid panel, something like that. Same sort of deal for the chronic prescriptions. And this is to cover time for things like prior authorizations and the patient that says, ooh, I don't like Walgreens anymore, I want you to change them over to CVS. So they're paying you in advance for that time. The next section has some other common fees that you might reasonably charge, and then the next section is point of care testing that you might do in the office. Then the last page are all the procedures that you might do, and these are basically set at Medicare rates because I think Medicare actually pays us pretty decent for procedures, just not the cognitive work we do. So then the next page, then you start to type in the patient's name, and then it won't happen here on this demo version, but then the system will start to recognize the letters and pull up options so you can click on their name, and then that'll auto-populate all of that information. This works because the patient had to pick you as their doctor when they sign up for the system in the first place. Then this is a preliminary bill, and as you can see, it's itemized, it's in language that the patient understands. I think there will be some intuitiveness to this, so the patient knows, yeah, we talked a long time about my chest pain, and so that's why it's $45, and we talked really quick about my A flutter, and that's why it's $21. And then we talked a really long time about my back, and that's what this extra fee is for. And so you see the preliminary bill is $209 for what was probably the 30, 40, 50-minute visit, something like that. And then it won't do it in the demo, but you hit confirm and create bill, a PDF is generated, and you can have the patient pay at the window. You could swipe a card yourself, however you'd like to manage that.